You ever get some bad news? Could be you find out a relative is sick or passes away. Accident, tragedy of some sort, whether it's directly involving you or someone you know. You get distracted. So you're either at work or you're with friends, you're out and about, or you're with the kids and you just can't get away, but your mind is just not focused. It happens. It can happen to the best of us. Doesn't matter how intelligent you are, doesn't matter how driven, organized you are. When you get that monkey wrench thrown into your plans, it'll have an effect on how you manage your day. For those of you who are minority, Black specifically, but minorities, and people who sympathize with the plight of Black people in this country today, dealing with oppression and constant trauma. As a worker, as a human being, as an American, it's hard to concentrate. When you start to hear bad news that a trauma to the Black community has happened again, it's hard to put a smile on your face when there's really nothing to truly smile about. Sure, you can smile about your daily life and the things you've accomplished, but there's always going to be something, no matter how good your day is, that's going to affect you. And when you see something enough, it really starts to wear on you. One of the biggest things that I have a problem with when Black and brown people or sympathizers of Black and brown people do when we discuss what's happening in the community and how constantly seeing it affects us. Are you being sensitive? Your intellect, your emotional intelligence, all of those things come into question. Not the fact that you're a human. Not the fact that you experienced a trauma. That in and of itself is tiring. It's frustrating. And in my opinion, it downplays the person's feelings. See, the thing about feelings and emotions, you don't get the right to tell somebody else how to feel. The same goes for them to you. They don't live in your body. They don't experience your life day to day. Every heartbeat, every fart, every breath, every tear. They don't experience it just like you don't experience theirs. There's a collective grief. But we still must continue to live. Bills have to be paid. Kids have to be fed. Cars break down. People pass away. So for those people who maybe can't sympathize, choose not to, who are not Black or brown, or just don't give a damn, realize that there are millions of people across the globe, but especially millions of Americans that do. And we're tired, and we're injured, and we're just expected to put on a smile and act like it never bothers us. We're not all resilient. We're not all calm. There are some people who just can't bear it. And there's some people that when they can't take it anymore, they want to make sure somebody knows what it feels like. I get both. And I get every range of emotion in between. So all I ask for people who may not be willing to see it from that lens is to at least be respectful to the process of people being able to grieve. Just like we would expect someone to be sympathetic to the needs of your family and friends if you were to pass away, or if your wife or kid or very, very best friend or grandmother passed away. We may never have lost any of those people in our lives personally, but to diminish your grief and your trauma is quite frankly un-American, and it's actually just kind of inhuman. We're not all built the same. We don't all have the same opportunities. And try as anyone might, regardless of their race and their socioeconomic standing, try as you might, there are injustices. People aren't treated the same. Equity and equality do not always exist in every situation. The lean times are coming. It's what you do with your resources, your abilities, your patience, and your time that will make a difference on how you and your loved ones in your community make it through those times. It's not a statement of prophecy. This isn't the idea of me telling you what it is that you need to do. It's just an American who's tired of loss and trauma and injustice, who's just as smart as the next person, who's just as dedicated to their family and their community as the next person. Tired. It's hard to concentrate, but life must go on. I pray peace for everyone that is experiencing this time, if they're feeling anything like I do, or the people that I love. And I hope that there is a certain level of acceptance that does at least come between all Americans to respect that although you may not experience the grief exists. Although you may not experience the death or the illness, the medical bills, or the stress, it exists. As usual, even though this isn't my podcast, you could have spent your time somewhere else other than spending the last almost 7 minutes with me. I appreciate you listening. I'm grateful for the opportunity to say, hey, I don't want you to think like me. I just want you to think. Because any moment we can share, care, and grow is a moment that we can work on our communities and ourselves. Thank you.